Week 3, top scoring quarterback, Kimmy.
Call me crazy.
You're crazy.
It's going to be Carson Wentz.
Oh, don't do this again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is he not currently the fantasy QB number 3 on the season? He's had over 27 fantasy points in each of the 2 games. Yeah, it probably can't go on, but maybe it'll go on this week against the Eagles as long as Darius Slay just stays away from him. Yeah. That'd be great because that worked out really well for Kirk Cousins last night on Monday Night Football. But you got to give Carson Wentz his reps. Yeah, some of these points come in garbage time, but I don't care. His receivers are eating. I'm getting fantasy points. And for the fantasy managers who draft him as a QB too, I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, I don't know, is this guy becoming a weekly starting option? Depending on the matchup and how he continues to play, it could be the case. And I like him again, week 3. Keep wheeling and dealing, Carson.
Well, when his leading receiver is Darius Slay, we'll talk about it next week. But I'm going to say this. Patrick Mahomes.
Stop it.
I'm just going to take the chalk here and go super easy and go with the matchup against the Indianapolis Colts, who, by the way, they've been okay against quarterbacks. They've allowed just 2 touchdowns apiece to Davis Mills and Trevor Lawrence. But I really do believe that the Colts will rebound this week because they're getting their receivers back, Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I feel like this is going to be more of a shootout. And we're going to see the Patrick Mahomes that we saw in week 1 when he was the QB1 versus the Cardinals. So I think that, again, sometimes you can go Carson Wentz and do that. I'll take Patrick Mahomes. Feel a little bit more comfortable.
You know who's the most comfortable?
Yeah.
Who's
My
that?
pick. Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's
Like over 29 fantasy points. And by the way, he didn't even finish the game yesterday. He didn't have to.
That's the problem.
'Cause they were that's not a problem. Not if you're giving me 29 or more fantasy points per game. And when I look at this Miami defense, of course, there's a few corners that I'm worried about in this one. However, they've allowed the most rush yards so far to quarterbacks this season, and I think Josh Allen, it kind of doesn't even matter if like the team usually allows rush yards to quarterbacks. He's going to run anyways. So I love this Josh Allen matchup. I think he's going to be your QB1.
But it's not like Lamar Jackson had a lot of rush. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, speaking of one Lamar Jackson, what about this week's QB1? Maybe next week's QB1 against the Patriots. 3 passing scores in each of his 2 games. He broke 100 on the ground, as you mentioned, right, for the first time in a while. Most of it did come on that one play, but what a spectacular play it was. He averages over 25 points against the Patriots. I'm not worried one bit now, because I was so fired up to get to the wideouts.
You were so fired to
Give me the number 1 wideout.
You're so fired up to get my take on Devonte Adams.
Yes.
You're like, I just wanted to jump ahead, forget the quarterbacks. But I'm going to go with my top guy is going to be Devonte Adams. The Raiders, struggling, 0-2 now, need a win in the worst way going up against the Tennessee Titans, who've been pretty vulnerable to opposing, although it's not fair because they just went up against Josh Allen, so of course those numbers are going to be weighted a little bit. But I think that, last week, Derek Carr was being cool. He was throwing the ball to Hunter Renfrow, and then he fumbled a couple times. He's like, I'm going to go back to just throwing it to Devonte Adams like 90 times. Like, I'm just going to give him every target. They really need to win, and I think this is going to be the week where they break out. And you see right there, 5 end zone targets this season. That's tied for the most amongst wide receivers. So I feel very comfortable with him.
Talking about someone who's just being cool. We got to see Kirk Cousins just being cool this week with Justin Jefferson against my Lions, who are kind of low-key good.
They're so fun to root.
I saw a pass rush there. Oh, okay, but it's going to probably take my heart away. This week, Justin Jefferson, I think, is your wide receiver number 1. I saw Jeff Okudah play well. That's the corner for the Lions. However, Justin Jefferson is a nightmare matchup. Darius Slay, not a Lion anymore. He used to be a Lion.
Darius Slay.
He's
not on the Lions anymore?
They do better when they leave the team. They do. Almost everyone does better when they leave the team.
So they thought like Okudah and Slay wouldn't be a good tandem?
A guy who did not leave his team. He got a massive deal with the San Francisco 49ers. My pick this week, it's Debo Samuel. He gets Jimmy G back as a starting quarterback with the news that Trey Lance is out for the season. We don't have to go back far in our memory bank to realize how good Debo was with Jimmy G last season. We thought it was going to be Jeff Wilson to step up in the run game, and then week 2 we're like, no, it's still Debo. He's a wide receiver. He's also a running back. He averaged over 13 yards a rush this past week. He has a great matchup going up against the Denver Broncos. Debo's just so good. I think it's going to be a fun little moment. Him and Jimmy G back consistent.
Play action, intermediate passes. Love that pick.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks and wide receivers getting back consistent, what about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase getting things going? I think Jamar Chase will be the wide receiver 1. The Bengals will break the losing streak. Jamar will be grittying in the end zone. Burrow won't be sacked 7 times yet again. Even when they were under siege in the opener, Jamar still had 28 points. Considering what Amari Cooper did against the Jets last week, I feel really great about Jamar Chase this week. So now let's get to the tight end, Cynthia. Who do you see as the top scorer for week 3?
I'm looking at Zach Ertz. I think that this one, obviously Aaron Donald, this is the problem. I don't want to see Kyler Murray run for 1 billion yards, like laterally, just to get maybe 3 yards of a gain. I think using those shorter passes, targeting Zach Ertz, it is his favorite target. This is a guy who in the red zone has the most targets this season. That's with 5. And I think this is the way you get rid of pressure. Just to run, pass over it.
Throw it over.
Run a little bit, and then the shorter pass to Zerts.
I'm going to follow your lead earlier. I'm just going to do the easiest pick here. It's going to be Mark Andrews.
Yes.
Mark Andrews going up against the New England Patriots. We saw how incredible he was going up against the Dolphins back with Lamar Jackson in week 2. He's consistency upon consistency. 18 targets this season. That's second most among the position. Also through week 2, very fitting that he's the tight end 2 on the season. The consistency's there. I'm never worried about the matchup. Lamar Jackson's going to get Mark Andrews the ball, plus the red zone upside. Some touchdowns too.
I'm with you on that one. I love that pick. But I also love playing Tyler Higbee this week, going up against the Arizona Cardinals, who've been one of the most generous teams against opposing tight ends for quite a couple of years now. But what we've really seen out of the Rams offense so far this season is that they've done a really nice job of scheming open Tyler Higbee, really making a concerted effort to get him the football. He had 20 targets this season. That's the most amongst tight ends. He's second behind just Cooper Kupp on that team. So high volume passing offense, and with a game that should be very high scoring, give me all the Tyler Higbee.
Love the options for Tyler Higbee, and I just love that Kimmy has let go of Travis Kelce.
Right.
Travis, did you hear what she said about Mark Andrews?
No.
He was the easy pick.
No.
Kind of a heel
Kimmy
turn.
doesn't trust you anymore,
me.
Travis, I do. I think you're the best tight end on the planet, and I don't trust the Colts defense right now. I don't know which wideouts are going to get the targets in KC, but last week's 10-point performance for the greatest tight end on planet Earth is set by Kimmy Chicks.
I quit the show. Don't. I
don't
can't
do that.
talk. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about Travis Kelce
10
every
points
single week.
is below the floor for Travis. I believe in you. She does it. And that wraps up the ones. We're done with players.
Hold on. I think, dude,
What?
did we forget a position?
No.
Like, there's a very important position we have not been talking about. Where are the running backs?
Yeah,
Why
we're
are we
talking
doing
about
running
that.
backs? Are you kidding me?
Chris Johnson has just set the franchise record for rushing yards in a season. 2nd and 5. Quick throw. Johnson wide open left side. 50, 40. Touchdown. Titan.
I was so fat down for food.
Johnson picking his way forward. 45. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Titan. What an effort by Chris Johnson.
All right, earlier today, the Pro Football Hall of Fame announced its finalists for the Modern Era Hall of Fame nominees. And joining me right now is one of those finalists, but of course, anybody who played fantasy football over the last decade knows him, CJ2K. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, we've been talking about you for years. I remember in 2009, I was so upset. I was in a fantasy draft. I was picking 6th overall. I was convinced I was going to get you, and I was sniped. And I had to settle for MJD. MJD was not as good as you. I love MJD. He was not as good as you that season. And so we're thrilled to have you here. And let's talk some running backs.
Let's talk them.
Can we get you to rank some running backs?
Yeah, I'm going to rank. I got some
You are?
some running backs that I'm ranking going into week 3.
All right. Got 5 of them?
I have 5 of them.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so
And
excited.
my first one is Avalon Camaro.
Okay.
He was hurt last week.
last
He was
week.
hurt last week. He didn't play. So, fantasy owners, don't worry. He's going to come back this week with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying? He's playing Carolina. They're allowing the 4th most rushing yards to running backs this season. So I think he's going to be good for running back 5 coming.
I'm nervous, CJ. I don't know. So I can do it? Put him back in there? No
I
worries?
don't think you should be worried because, they're giving up the rush yards and they're going to use them a lot in the pass game. We just need Jameis not to throw no picks.
Yeah. That's kind of asking a lot. Who do you got at number 4?
Yeah. At number 4, I'm going Austin Eckler.
Oh, wonderful.
Austin Eckler, in that high-power offense, he's going to run the ball. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to give you points. They're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville's allowing the most receiving yards to a running back. So, he's going to catch the ball a lot out of the backfield.
And with Justin Herbert, nursing an injury, are they going to have to lean on him a little bit more?
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to lean on him a little bit more. And, until Justin Herbert can get all the way healthy, we got to put the ball in his hands.
It makes perfect sense. All right, who do you got at number 3?
At number 3, I got Dalvin Cook.
Ooh, okay.
Dalvin Cook.
It wasn't great last night.
It wasn't great last night. But, coming off a short week,
Yeah.
you get to get out there and make everybody forget about last night. He's playing Detroit. Detroit, they're allowing the most fantasy points to a running back this season. So I think that's a great option for you. So it's not time to bench him, not time to sit him yet.
Well, let me tell you something. I co-manage a team with a friend of mine. He wants to trade Dalvin Cook. Is that good or bad?
If he's trying to trade him to you, I give him.
No. We have him.
Oh, y'all have him? Oh, y'all co-manager? Oh,
He's
don't trade him.
giving up on him already.
Nah, it's only week 2.
Exactly.
We got, 15 more weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Chris, not this Chris, but you, Chris, you know who you are. We're not trading Dalvin Cook. All right. Who do we got at number 2?
We got Jonathan Taylor.
Love it.
Yeah, a guy that's going to be consistent for you all year. All year. He's going to put out the points. He's going to put out the rushing yards. They're going to use him in the pass game. So he's a guy that you can stick with.
Are we worried, though? Because Matt Ryan hasn't looked great.
Yeah, but that's the good thing. Even though Matt Ryan's don't look great, Jonathan Taylor going to get that many more opportunities.
Yes.
If we got to ride his back, that means more points for you. It might not be good for the team in itself.
We don't care about the
Yeah,
team.
we don't care.
No,
but
we only care about Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylor.
we're talking about fantasy
Yeah.
football here.
You're a former Titan. You don't care whether the Colts win or lose.
Yeah, I
You can
don't
lose them
care.
all,
Yeah, I
as far
don't
as you're
care
concerned.
about that, yeah.
But then I guess that means so we got some options because Jonathan Taylor I would have assumed in number 1. We
Right.
got Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. Who do we got at number 1?
You get a drum.
Y'all gonna think I'm biased.
No, we would never.
I'm a Titan, man. I gotta go number 1. I gotta go with Derrick Henry.
Hey!
Gotta go with Derrick Henry, even though he haven't started off great.
Yeah.
But
Not been wonderful.
Yeah, Titans, we only gonna be as good as Derrick Henry. So we gotta keep pounding the ball. I think this next game, Derrick Henry is gonna probably get 30 touches, 30 carries at that. He's probably gonna have close to 20 in the first half.
Ooh.
So we know he's not gonna be used in the passing game, but
No.
I see him breaking the long one this week.
Yeah, what's it like? You're the Titans 0-2. Derrick Henry, motivated, angry. What's that week going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be crazy. They're going to get in practice. They're going to do a lot of hitting. We're going to get the ball rolling.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Listen, don't go anywhere.
We're going to know where I'm here.
All right, we got to have your input all day. So listen, you can sit here. You might want to disagree with me. What about one of the greatest running backs of all time, a future Hall of Famer, CJ2K? And we got lots more coming up at Patrick.